What's up, guys? I'm back. Hello. Ready for some more chess? Just having my good vibes. Oh shit. Just had to I don't know. I just had to have a little bit of a vibe check, take a shower, just kind of relax. I get a little bit worked up over certain topics, and I've been talking to PR Kid about that a bit, and it's nothing personal against him. It's just that there's just certain things that just set me off. Has nothing to do with him personally. It's just I don't know. uh got to learn my PR, right? PR Kid. Like I said, it's nothing personal. It's just like I get triggered, and I know people hate that word, but it's true. Like literally, something sets me off, and it's just like I'm kind of like fight or flight mode. It's like panic attack kind of stuff. It's really kind of like it has nothing to do with like the person, has nothing to do with like what's going on. I try to control it the best I can. I have been working on it for like 3 years in therapy, so I think I'm doing a lot better than I used to. Anyway, I would love to play some more chess. I'm a fiend. But I just kind of need my own vibes right now. But I'm always up for playing. So I'm ready to play. Just kind of chilling, doing my own thing. I should have gone there earlier. Oh wait, no, I was over here, so I had to go. Uh-oh. Oh, Well then. I screwed up. Oh no, I should have gone... Hey, how's it going? What's up, used to be... Hey, Mel Gibson, 420. You guys got some funny names. I have to tell you, you guys are wild. You Twitch peoples. Oh, there goes my night. I have to start over. Yeah, we're totally vibing. Hey, Zeffy, welcome back. We're always vibing. Oh, fuck. I forgot to, That would have been crazy if I kept that. Yeah, my chessboard ain't showing. For real. Uh-oh. I did a little bit of a problem there with development. Yeah, I don't know. Lately I've been trying to like just learn how to chill. There's really like there's a lot of different reasons to there's a lot of different reasons, a lot of different things that you can do for content. Sometimes it's not even about content. Sometimes literally I think just having a vibe. I think that's like why a lot of people watch Twitch in the first place. I think it's just like a vibe. Not really about the content. It's like I think people just want a feeling. Like chasing a feeling. And I don't know. Everybody has different vibes. Yeah. I mean, I do have fun. Just the idea of grinding at a game really appeals to me. It's always appealed to me. It's why I really like Twitch in the first place. Like, just having something to do and just chat. That's always appealed to me. That's always been the #1 appeal to me of Twitch. Is that you could just pick a game and just chat with your audience. Like, that's always been freaking crazy to me that's possible. That's an actual thing that can happen in reality. You know, like, I have people to talk with now that I didn't have 3 years ago. I didn't have what I have now. I don't have people asking me to go live 3 years ago. Used to be. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I feel like somebody that matters. At least I matter to somebody. And sometimes I need to remember I need to matter to myself. It's an online e-girl thing. Yeah, I mean, chess in general is an awesome game. Not even just as an online e-girl. But yeah, I mean, I do think the Botez sisters really set a precedent for chess. Oh, yeah, I'm down some material again. What am I doing? Botez Gambit. Need to learn how to focus again. Well, in the first place. Learn how to focus in the first place. Pretty funky. Yeah, I do really like this station. Rainwave OC Remix. They play a lot of variety of different types of music. Oh no! It's not a terrible mistake. I think it's a huge inaccuracy there. Yeah, it's yeah, it's one of those kind of nights, like, you know, I had a long day Now it's just trying to chill. Do you stream full time? I do a lot of different things. Honestly, full time is just taking care of my health. That's what I do full time. You know, my gender confirming stuff, my autism related stuff. Streaming's a huge part of it, like, because it's like it's a part of an overall strategy for like a social media type of career, but it's not really a full-time thing as far as income by any means. Even the ones that are most lucrative as a part of my social media campaigns are still pretty low. So it's more of a long-term thing. But I do enjoy streaming, as it's like, it gives me some space where I can kind of just do my own thing. Uh-oh. Oh, I could have. Hey, what's up? Nos Race Lick. I have no idea what that name is supposed to be. Sorry. Yeah, this bishop. Yikes, this isn't gonna work. Well, I'm not dabbing. I'm failing. See? There's nothing I can do. Dabbing, more like drabbing. Am I right? Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I'm making some, you know, fun stuff to watch. Sometimes I feel like I'm just like super boring and that nobody wants to watch me, but that's not true because otherwise why would you all be here? Like, why would you be here if you didn't like watching? So I don't know why I have such imposter syndrome. It's like hard to believe that I'm like enjoyable to be around. Midnight vibe for sure. The best kind sometimes. I don't know, sometimes I think I like think too much. Like I'm just constantly like thinking too much. Well, thank you, used to be. I don't know if your name is like kind of questionable, but not really. I don't know. I'll just call you used to be. This old mare, she ain't what she used to be. Ain't what she used to be. This old mare, she ain't what she used to be. Thought is part of the source of suffering. Yeah. I need to be more zen. In fact, thinking about what zen is completely defeating the purpose of zen. Like thinking about what zen is, it's like, well, what is zen? You're already doing too much. Like zen is literally nothingness, but not really. Not nothingness, but like, I don't know. No, don't kill the Buddha. We have to delete that message. Don't say things like that. Sage your home and breathe. Yeah, I mean, sure. Oh, it's a saying? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah. I mean, it's a little bit too risque. Not risque. It's a little bit too risky for Twitch to say stuff like that, I think. I don't know. I really don't understand Twitch sometimes. They like have like really random... Oh, it's like sometimes they go really hardcore on their terms of service, and other times they like don't even give a shit. So I don't even know. Yeah, you gotta be careful with stuff. Not everybody gets it, you know? I think mostly Twitch just wants super like family friendly, super like hold hands with everybody kind of stuff. A little more loose. How loose is your goose? Honestly, I'm pretty chill with most things, but if something is setting me with bad vibes, I will usually like just cut it out. I don't like bad vibes. I don't think it makes me weak to be able to set my preferences with what makes me comfortable or not. I don't think that makes me weak or close-minded. I think it's kind of ridiculous when people will be like, oh, it's close-minded that you won't listen to me. And I'm like, no, it's not up to you whether or not I listen to something or not. Emoji for XD? Yeah, exactly. Maybe think like Ninja. PR kid really pushing my chess. Glad you play so many games. Making me... keeping me on my toes. Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing pajamas. Don't worry, I got a bra on. You gotta be careful with white shirts. You know? Those who know, know. Yeah, we know, Rebecca. Jeez. I think everybody knows about that. Or maybe not, I don't know. You never know. Nips. Yeah, but I have a bra on, so it's okay. But I do say I like the way this shirt makes me shaped. Yeah, I'm glad I have a link tree too. It's good. You can put all your links there. It's a really good website. I really think they're oh. Missed this one. Can't believe I caught you. PR kid. Can't believe you slipped up. You're usually like, oof. Yeah, the problem with that is that, yeah. So it's not really a slip up, but it kind of is. I mean, yeah, never mind. Total slip up. Yeah, not really. Never mind. Yeah, it's not as based as I... Well, actually, yeah, it is. Never mind, if you move away. What's up, David? Oh no. Gremlin mode. Gremlin gender? I heard that's a thing. This might be a draw. Grem/Lynn. Oh no. Draw. Nice. I must be a grandmaster with all this drawing. Those who know, know. 1,200-year-old game. 7,000-year-old game. You know, checkers is like the oldest surviving game with like the most amount of variants of like any game that's still played today. Like checkers is like super old school. And there's so many different variants of it. In fact, like checkers is still played professionally today, at least in the 10x10 version. Oh no. 10x10 international checkers is actually basically as complex as chess. It's a more tactical game, but it's very complex with the force captures and the multi. You have to take the capture route with the most amount of captures. So there's like a lot of tactics involved with that, because sometimes you can give somebody you can force them to take more pieces, but then it puts you in a better position. It's a pretty interesting game. I've always liked it. I'm very bad at checkers though, like super bad at checkers. And it's just kind of silly when people start talking about checkers as if it's like simple, when it's like it's not simple at all. Even the 8x8 checkers, it's solved, but it's like not easy to solve. There goes my bishop. Oh, there goes more than a bishop. Yeah, checkers is actually a really difficult game. I don't know why people act like it's easier. I mean, it's simpler idea conceptually than chess, but like it's a very complex game. I kind of just post at my own pace. I try to go live on certain platforms every Friday through Monday, but I've been online all weekend streaming. Yeah, the thing is, obviously checkers is gonna feel basic when everyone else is also basic. But if you're playing against somebody of equal strength, it's not basic. Because checkers, computers have solved checkers, 8x8 checkers. But in order to actually win or force a draw every game, you have to calculate like a computer. And I think it's really disrespectful to the game when people just think, oh well, it's easy for me to play. So that's because you're only playing weaker opponents. Tic-tac-toe tournament champion. Now tic-tac-toe is completely solved, and that's even solvable basically with human knowledge. My dad was a tic-tac-toe tournament champion. Probably trying to talk shit on the playground. That kid's like, my dad's the tournament champion. And everybody's all like worked up about it, and now it's like a psychological game, right? It like that kid got in your head. If I said anything, he'd throw me under the bus. Like, literally? Oh, no! That's terrible. Jail for shoplifting? That's terrible. Lying about shoplifting? Oh no. That's terrible. Don't lie. Don't do bad things. Just stop being weird champ. Everybody. Stop being weird champs. Just be realizers. Realize that life is not about being a weird champ. Yeah, I mean, I guess karma's a bitch. You know? Claiming his dad was the tic-tac-toe champion in 5th grade. Now the guy's in jail. You take tic-tac-toe seriously, okay? You can't. Yeah, it's Final. Oh, this is Final Fantasy 11, isn't it? You played Final Fantasy 11 also? Yeah, Graviton's Dream. Oh no, that's not a king? That's not a king at all. Oh, well, that's actually a good thing. It's not a king. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not good. What? Oh my god. Do you play on one of the servers now? I have a character on Asura, Rebecca Lauren on Asura. I'm also on Wings XI. And I'm also on Nozomi. Oh, you're on Bahamut. Yeah, I haven't played in quite a while. I was basically just getting started with that Dueling content, really. Like just getting into the meat of a dueling, because I did all of like Rhapsodies. And then I was just getting like a polearm for Dragoon leveled up just to have like a base, like super easy melee. Like let's be real, I think Dragoon is probably one of the easier jobs to like max out first. I also had like some other 99s, but I wanted to get Dragoon out first just because it's like a basic, straightforward melee, you know? Yeah, Dance Thief is super cool. I played Final Fantasy 11 when it first came out, and like I got to like level 75 Black Mage, and I did the whole thing. And then I played again on Nozomi, and then I started again on Wings when Ninja started playing there. Ninja's pretty cool too. Like he keeps things based on in-game. Like he basically, like, as long as you treat him like another player, not just like as a famous ninja person, he was actually pretty chill. I mean, he was just like another random player in the game, and I think that was what he wanted. I don't think he wanted to be there because he's ninja and he wanted to use his clout or whatever. I think it was pretty cool that he was just like, hey, I'm the chill dude in the Link Shell that plays in Sky and stuff. I'm like, that's what Final Fantasy 11's really about. It's like, it's not about who you are in the real world. It's just a chill game. Oh no. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of toxic people because of Ninja though. That's what I'm saying. There's probably toxic people in the server. Although, let's be real, there was also toxic people in Nozomi. Like, Nozomi had some really toxic people too. What am I thinking? Why did I do that? What the hell? Why did I do this? Oh no, and then I timed out. Yeah, I have a Mithra. Roki. But I'm kind of done. I think I've played like a total of 4 years of my life in Vana'diel. I'm pretty sure since 2004 or so. I think I've spent an entire 4 years of my life in Vana'diel. That's kind of sad. It's not as much as some people have. Let's be real. And the same, like World of Warcraft players as well, have similar degen hours. Like, I spent 4 years of my life in that game. I don't know, I think 14 is a different game. I don't think it's better or worse. I think it's just different. There's no RP. Yeah, I mean, RP can be fun. I didn't really do RP. I think I knew people who did. I just mostly like to grind the game. Like, I would like farm a lot and like get items. I really like just getting items. I was Beastmaster in Nozomi. I got Beastmaster 75 and Bard and Ranger. I think I got Ranger first because a Link Shell I was in pressured me so hard to get 75. It basically ruined my experience of the game. They were like, hey, you're in the Link Shell, but this is an endgame Link Shell. If you don't get level 75 in 2 weeks, we're gonna let you go. And I like grinded for like, I got level 75 in like a week. But I was like level 60 something Ranger. It just kind of bothered me. And then I got Bard up and I like really freaking sweaty with Bard. And I got to 75 like really quickly when I did that as well. But it's just like, then I was in the endgame Link Shell and it's the same reason why I quit in the first place. When I first quit, once you start doing endgame stuff, people treat it like it's a job. And it's like it takes all the fun out of the game. I really like just doing whatever I wanted when I wanted. Which is why I like Beastmaster, because nobody could tell me what to do on Beastmaster. But the problem with Beastmaster is you need to be an endgame Link Shell to get all the best gear. Because endgame is not solo. And it's never been. You don't have... And I think, like, Nozomi said it right once, where he said, not every job is designed to fit every situation. The reason you play Beastmaster is so you can do solo stuff better. And small man groups. Like, not like Blue Man Group. But if you have, like, Beastmaster, you get, like, 3 Beastmasters together, you can do pretty much everything that's not endgame. Like, 3 Beastmasters can pretty much do everything. Like, you know, it's like you have so many, like, I mean, it's really, like, kind of, OP. Yeah, Blue Mage as well. Yeah, Blue Mage is probably I mean, the problem with Blue Mage is you have to prep it. So, you know, a prepped Blue Mage team, super OP. Probably more OP than anything in the game. Like, in level 75 era. Like, and probably in 99 era as well. But I do feel like Blue Mage, probably, as long as the Blue Mage is prepped and, you know, uses the right meta, I think Blue Mage is probably the most OP job in the entire game. Like, it's just broken. I think it's supposed to be broken. Yeah, I mean, it's not about 99 today, though. And nowadays, it's about grinding those master levels and those, and now they added the master levels, like for the sub-job levels. So now there's like even more stuff to do. I don't even know, because I didn't even really get all the like 119 stuff. Because once you get to a 99, then you gotta grind like all the gear. And then you also have to grind the master levels. You also have to, you know, you have to get the master class or whatever. It's more shitpost meta of swapping armor. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like crazy armor meta. It's always been that way. Since level 75 era, it's always been about getting different equip sets. Like, that's the whole purpose of the game, is to collect all the prizes. I like collecting treasure. That's why I had like every single I had every single event item in Nozomi, from like the Christmas the Starlight celebration, for the Easter stuff or whatever they called it. You know, I had all the egg stuff. I had the Christmas trees. I had all the fun stuff, and it was in my Mog house. But I like collecting all the gear, which is like, obviously if you want the absolute best gear, you gotta do like Dynamis. And I was doing Dynamis with my Link Shell, and it was pretty cool for a time. But like, you know, I was Bard, and which I was fine with. I was really good at it. I would always land the sleeps as fast as possible. You know, I was really good about it. For like a new Bard. A new endgame Bard. And like I was like working on the merits and stuff like that. And I liked having Bard because I could merit for my Beastmaster very easily. I was trying to max out my merits for Bard first. I see, on Nozomi, I didn't finish my merits. Like I was like working on it, and it was the same. It just stopped being fun. It's like as soon as I get to endgame, I kind of try for a bit. But then I stop having fun. And then I just quit. And it's like, it's fine. I mean, it's just a game. Yeah, I mean, current Final Fantasy XI retail is pretty weird. Like, it's just pretty insane. And I think it's supposed to be. Like, I think it's just supposed to be, like, kind of crazy, broken. Oh no, there goes my bishop. Yeah, either way, I think I spent enough time in Vana'diel. I think I'm okay with never playing it again. Like, I don't need more content. I got plenty of books to read. I got books to write. I'm writing a novel. I finished the first draft, but I'm reworking it from the ground up on the second draft. I also have a couple other novels I started that I'm still working on the first draft for. I got life stuff to do. You know, I got plenty of stuff to do in real life that I'm already working on. I got content to make, you know, books to write. That's part of my content. I don't see content as one thing. You can have multiple platforms, and every platform's different. And, you know, books are a definite platform. Like, there's definitely, like, a specific platform for writing novels. Like, especially with audiobooks. Like, it's people think that books are, like, old school. They're never gonna go out of style. Because books are just human thought written into a very focused medium. Like there's really never going to be a reason why books would ever go out of style. It's weird when people just like say off the cuff, they're like, oh yeah, who reads books anymore? That's just because you don't know anybody who reads books. Just because you don't know anyone who reads books doesn't mean people don't. Because books are probably doing better than they ever have in history. Because of the internet. Like, books are doing great nowadays. There's a lot more people who can make a living as a writer. It's not like an insane living, but like people can make a living as a writer nowadays way easier than they could in the past. But I have to actually finish the books. That's the part nobody, I mean, that's the pretty important part. You have to actually write the book. I don't know if anyone told you this, but in order to actually be a successful writer, you have to finish your book. Oh, nice. Yeah, Japanese translation. It's my second language. Hmm? Yeah. I have to be real though, I am not very practiced in Japanese lately. That was years ago. Wasn't even very fluent to begin with. Now I can listen to two people speak, or even one person speak. And I can, you know, also read it. If it has like furigana on the kanji. For the most part, and even without furigana, I can pretty much understand like what's being said. But being able to form my own words, that's a totally different story. And also, there's a lot of vocabulary that I just don't know. Like, especially when it comes to like people's proper names, like people's names, or place names, or food. Those are like the most difficult vocabulary for me ever. Like, I have no idea what people are talking about because a lot of Japanese is contextual based on Japanese culture, and a lot of that is based on living in Japan. And so it's like it's really difficult to be fluent in a language when you don't even live there. You know? Because most of the language is based on Japanese context of culture. And it's just something different about reading about it and actually living it, you know? Like, it's one thing to like read about Japanese culture, but to actually be like there and like have like your family, like it's a part of your family, and like there's all the stuff that goes into it, you know? You can't read that in a book. I mean, you can, but I mean, you can't. If that makes any sense. Yeah, kanji, it is a means to an end, though. You have to understand, I've had a lot of fun learning kanji, but at the end of the day, like Japanese people, they just see it as writing. Just like we see English words as writing. There is, I mean, I guess there's a bit of a difference because in traditional Chinese culture and in Japanese culture, kanji writing is actually an art form in some cases. So it's a little different, I think. Because like calligraphy is more, I think it's more of a thing in Japanese and Chinese culture and even Korean culture than it is in like Western culture. Because calligraphy is a thing in Western culture as well. Like people do calligraphy for like our like Latin writing system. But it's different as far as like culture goes, because in like Japanese and Chinese culture, like calligraphy is like an actual, like considered an art form. Yeah, kanji is great. The kanji is literally Hanzi in Mandarin, which just means Chinese characters, and so they're Chinese characters with Japanese vocabulary. It's different than Chinese written Chinese though, because the vocabulary is formed differently. So you have the same characters, but it also mostly uses traditional characters and not simplified characters. And also the vocabulary, you form words differently in Chinese writing. No matter what dialect you have, like it's still formed. You can have the same exact words, but they're going to be read differently depending on if it's Cantonese or Mandarin. So the interesting thing that I really like about Chinese written word is that if you can read the Chinese characters, it doesn't matter what dialect you have. Like you could literally have a completely different dialect and you can still understand exactly what was written because you just read it in your own dialect. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, I think there's obviously going to be nuance where obviously you can probably tell when something was written in Mandarin compared to if it was written in Cantonese, or whether it was written in a specific dialect of Mandarin or whatever. There's so many different dialects, it's insane. I studied Mandarin Chinese as well for a while. But the thing is about the characters, the kanji, it's really easy to get fixated on it, but you have to remember that the kanji are a way to simplify learning vocabulary, because the way they use kanji is to make distinctions between vocabulary. And so it's really supposed to make things easier. But it's hard to learn them on the outset, because it's especially as somebody who didn't, who's learning it as a second language, you haven't gone through the years of schooling that most Japanese people have gone through. Play Mother 3? Yeah, I mean, you just get started with reading. And you might have to do a lot of work with the dictionary, but it starts with just trying. I would learn a lot of Japanese just by reading manga in Japanese, like reading I had this manga called Matante Roki, which is where I got Roki from. Roki is like Loki. So it's like there's a manga called Matante Loki or Matante Roki, which is like mythical detective Loki. And it was I really liked it. It was very the anime is very different. I'm going to be very clear about that. The anime is more traditional, but the manga itself is more it's almost like a gag comic, but not really. It has a serious storyline, but it doesn't really work out that way. It doesn't work like a traditional anime or manga where it's very linear. It's kind of episodic, but not really. It's really hard to explain. But that was my very first anime. I mean, that was my very first manga in Japanese that I read. And I had a dictionary next to me the whole time. It took me hours just to read like a single chapter or whatever, like an hour or longer. It was a lot of work. It was not easy. It's not going to be easy. Learning a language is hard. It's not easy. But it's good to think about things in an easy mindset. Because it's better to do something half-assed than to not do it all. I know people like it, and I'm learning that even more nowadays with like my stuff with my mental health and stuff, and with my physical health, which is a huge part of my mental health. Is it's better to like go outside and just like get some sunlight and like drink a bottle of water than it is to just stay inside and not do anything. Because you're getting yourself in the mindset of getting started to do something. And then once you get into the habit of doing something, it gets easier to actually do more. And then it kind of has like a snowball effect. Like it just gets easier and easier and easier because you started with low effort. When you start with low effort, it's going to be easier to add more effort. And it's kind of like counterintuitive. Like just doing some chess puzzles or just playing some chess games, infinitely better than just saying, oh, well, you know, it's too hard. I don't have the time to play chess. You have like 1 minute. If you can spend a single minute on chess, you've already done infinitely better than you would have if you didn't. So it's like you spend 1 minute doing chess puzzles. Or play a single game. It doesn't matter, like you did the thing. As long as you do the thing, you're winning. Oh, GG. Yeah, the very first thing that really got me started on Japanese, I watched anime since I was a kid. Urusei Yatsura was in Japanese with English subtitles. That was the first subtitle I had access to, instead of dubbed. And then I had this attitude that most people have for like their whole entire life, is they're like, oh, if it's not in Japanese, it's not real anime. At a certain point, you kind of figure it out that it's like, it doesn't really matter. Just watch whatever you enjoy. But besides that, when I started watching Hagane no Renkin Jutsushi, which is Full Metal Alchemist, Hagane no Renkin Jutsushi, when I started watching that, I accidentally started watching it with French subtitles. The version I had was in French, and I didn't really know French, and so I was just watching it with basically without subtitles. And I figured out like, whoa, like I can actually pay it. The anime is so different when you're not reading subtitles. Like you start to notice a lot more, and then you also start noticing that anime's trash, but over time. You start realizing how like you used to think it was so unique, but really what you thought was unique was what the translators were writing. That's really what you were reading. That's really what you were watching. You weren't watching the anime. You were watching the translation. I wouldn't say it's trash, but I mean it's pretty much it's copy paste. It's copy paste. It's really silly, and I'm not saying that like anybody who likes it is like, you know, stupid or whatever. If you like it, you like it. I like trash stuff too. I don't know. the thing is like, you notice a lot more stuff when you take away the subtitles, because you start focusing on the actual like language instead of reading the translation. And then that's how you start really learning, because then it's like you're forced to learn, because otherwise you have like otherwise you have a crutch that you're using. You're using the subtitles and you're thinking in English. You're not thinking in Japanese, you're thinking in English. And it forces you to like really pay attention, and you start hearing patterns, and then you know what to study. Like your studying gets so much more efficient that way. Cause like you do your study, but you're not just studying, you're also using it. And you're forcing yourself to use it because you're not using English subtitles or whatever language you speak, your native language. You're not using subtitles as a crutch. And so you just continue to study and then like, you know, supplement it with like listening practice. Eventually, I mean, you can do the same thing with like listen to music that's in Japanese, you know, stuff like that, which is a huge thing that I did, like Utada Hikaru, Yui, Bonnie Pink, Porno Graffiti. Porno Graffiti and Yui did anime openings for Full Metal Alchemist, by the way. Porno Graffiti did Melissa. Melissa, Ashita Nakana Sa, that one. Omae no sei ni ore no nosete kuretai ta. So shite ichiban takai no toko de. Yeah, so that song. I don't remember all the lyrics. Kimi no te te kirisaete toi hi no kyoku. Yeah, so it's like kanashimi mo iki no ne wo tomete kure yo. Sa ai ni togurete. Oh man, I forgot. And then Yui did like again in Brotherhood. Yume no Tsuzuki hoikakete ita hazu nano ni. That one. Oendan for DS. Ready, steady, go. Yeah, ready, steady, go. I don't think that's a... Wait, that's not Porno Graffiti, is it? Ready, steady, go? I thought that was like... Wasn't that like Orange Range or something? No. I don't know, a lot of the stuff like, you know, like Naruto, all that stuff I grew up with. But, you know, you gotta remember, like, there's a lot more Japanese culture than anime. That's like basing your whole life on like Marvel and DC comics, right? Like there's more to life than Marvel and DC, like Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and like the Flash, you know, like there's more to life than that, right? Yeah, Japanese male cheerleaders for sure. Japanese cheerleaders stopping a meteor from hitting Earth. That's crazy awesome. That sounds awesome. Yeah, I mean, like, if you get all your Japanese from anime, it's like, yeah, there is a lot of culture in anime, but, like, at some point, I started doing a lot of my study based on, like, real life, like, talk shows. Like, people, like, doing, like, watching, like, listening to the news on the radio. Like online, listening to podcasts, oh, Elite Beat Agents, I see. Yeah, I kind of remember that game. I think I've only played it once. Yeah, anime is just cartoons. Like, it's like X-Men. Like, it's a cartoon. It's awesome, but like, it's still like just a cartoon. It's like a comic book. Like, it's awesome. Pokecatch Ultra Ball. Oh my god. Am I... Oh, we got some Sonic and Knuckles. You know, like growing up on video games and anime culture, it's like, it's a huge bond. You know, the James Bond. So this is like my favorite track. I'm gonna put this on the record. This is my #1 favorite track of any Sonic game ever, across all time. This is my favorite track, is the Battery Zone. No. Yeah, I grew up a consumer for sure. My family was all about buying stuff. That was pretty much our whole entire existence. The only thing that made us happy was like waiting for Christmas presents, where we would get video games or stuff like that. My brother would buy DVDs of like movies and stuff. Everything we did was about the dopamine hit of getting new stuff. And honestly, I think that's what it's like being in like a more like in like a lesser, not, you know, in families that are like not as like financially well off, because you can you know, like you can get a video game for $50 and you have like maybe like 50 or 70 hours of enjoyment. And if you don't really have much money in life and there's really no hope that you're ever going to do anything unless you go to college and blah, 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 then you go to college and you're like, fuck. Like, this is not going to do anything for you. Like, because people like lie to you and say that in order to be successful, you have to go to college. Then you go to college and you're like, well, first of all, you have to get good grades to go to college. I dropped out of high school and I got my GED later, but like when I went to college for like music degree. You know, it's like I'm a musician, and so it's like it's frustrating when it's like the things that are truly like the things that you are most used to doing. They say like, oh, well, that's just supposed to be a hobby, and I'm like, well, bullshit, it's a hobby. Like, literally been a musician since I was like 6 years old. What are you talking about? If there was no path towards a career, then why the hell was it an option to begin with? Why is that the only thing that made me happy at all to go to school? Like, what? It's just so frustrating. Like, the world's not set up for people who are different. I mean, autistic or just creative or anybody who has a brain. Like, if you are intelligent, the world is gonna crush you. It's really fucked up. Because it's the people who have control who know that if smart people have control, that they won't put up with their bullshit. And so they have the power and then they crush you. It's really fucked up. Well, it's better to know that you have mental illness instead of going on living in it and having lots of like repercussions in your life because of it, like I did. I refused to go to therapy until I was like started transitioning like 3 years ago. So it's like I went most of my life undiagnosed with most things. And when I did get diagnosed with some things, I just like kind of just like got the diagnosis and that was kind of it. I didn't do any follow-up. I didn't do anything about it. I rock. I stone. I boulder. Oh, this is Super Mario Land 2. I like this track too. You also stone, but do you boulder? I don't know, it's just so frustrating that like there's so many mixed messages in your life growing up, at least here in like in like United States. Like I was praised for having art, like talent or whatever, for being intelligent, for being able to play music like in band. I was like praised for it. But then you get into the real world and suddenly you can't make a living off of it. And it's like, well, why was I encouraged to do music in the first place if I couldn't make a living off of it? Oh, because we want to give you a education about the arts. And it's like, well, the arts were the education. Like that was the job to me. Like to me, that was my whole entire life, was going to band. And it was the only thing that made me happy in school. That was the only reason I got out of bed in the morning, was to go to band, because I loved performing and learning music. And then suddenly you're like unable to even function in life. Because in order to make it as a musician, you have to go through all these ridiculously crazy steps that most people will never get. And a lot of it's luck. And it just pisses me off that like my whole life I like was a musician and it didn't really do anything for me. And it kind of killed my spirit. When I went to college, I started to feel good again. But then it's like reality sets in and it's like it's like kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where you don't make it happen because you're not even working on it anymore because of lethargy or whatever. Or, you know, because it's just like, what's the point? How am I going to make a living like this? Like, and it's like, it just pisses me off. That like, I can be like the thing that makes me the most happy in life, the thing that I've done the most, the thing that I've spent the most time with, the thing that I've worked with the most amount of people with in a group setting to you know, was being in band. And then it's like, oh, well, you know, you'll never make it as a musician. It's supposed to be just a hobby. Okay, well then why did I spend every single year from the time I was 6 years old being in band or choir? Like what the actual fuck? Like this, like the fucking school set me up for failure, telling me like that it's okay to do music and then finding out that it's not okay to do music. Like literally spent my whole entire life practicing music. Like for what? Oh, it's supposed to enrich you. Okay, well, you know, enrichment doesn't pay the bills, you know? It just pisses me off. But you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm gonna build my own fucking platforms. I don't care how long it fucking takes. I don't care what it takes. I'm gonna fucking make something work somewhere, somehow. And then nobody can stop me. I can do music or whatever. I don't care. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Cause that's what I'm building. I'm building something that encompasses everything. And anything and everything. That if I can build social media, I can literally do anything and nobody can ever stop me. I could be a musician. I could be a writer. Oh no, I fucked up. You know, like every single thing that's been important to me my whole entire life, if I can make social media platforms work, they will all work. And my whole life will actually not be a waste. So, you know, it's like, I think Matt Groening said it, that he had to justify all the tons of hours that he spent watching TV, so he ended up making The Simpsons and stuff. Well, first he started with Life in Hell. He went to LA because he wanted to be a writer for, like, you know, Hollywood or whatever. But, you know, if it's not a waste if you make it work for you. So my whole 22 years on social media, it's not going to be a waste if I can make it into, like, a career. Like, it won't be a waste. It's only a waste if I give up. Because if I give up, then holy shit, I wasted 22 years of my life. If I keep going, then it's a career. So, you know, thing is that I'll never know if or when it'll work, but... Oh... I mean, that could mean anything, though. Yeah, I think if it was like hardcore canceling information, I don't think Simpsons would be a thing anymore. I don't think it was like that. It was probably something else. Plus, I'm just taking your word for it. You're just a member of my chat. I shouldn't believe everything chat tells me. It's not a good habit to be in. You're probably right, but it's probably not what it probably not what it looks like. I don't know. If it were, I think we'd know by now. Although then again, wasn't like Walt Disney like super like anti-Semitic? It's like a lot of fucked up people. Why can't people just be fucking nice? Why do people have to be dicks? Why do people have to be really fucking weird? I don't even remember who Jimmy Buffett is anymore. Like, why do people have to be so fucking weird and psychotic? Why can't people just be normal? Margaritaville? I don't even know what that is. I just wish people would stop being fucking weird, dude. Oh, Song Restaurant. Nice. Yeah, I guess you got a foot massage. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's kind of sus. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to get into that topic. God, I just wish people weren't fucking weird, dude. Like, why do people have to be so fucking weird? Like, is it that, like, is it that difficult to just be a normal human being and care about people and not hurt people? Like, really? Lead poisoning? Yeah, it's fucking boomers. You know, they were really fucked up in the head, I think. Maybe too much LSD. I don't know. You know what's funny is that the boomers who thought that the millennials, like, we have like our heads in the clouds, when we're like the most grounded in reality compared to them. They have like all these fanciful ideas over what life is, and we're just working with reality. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't care anymore about what other people think of what I should do with my life. Because they don't have my life. They don't have my autism brain. They don't have my experience. They don't have, like, the years of abuse I've had from you know, other kids growing up, and then from adults as well growing up. Yeah, it's just boomers piss me off so much. This idea that you have to sit at the dinner table, that is like, it sounds like at first glance, obviously, it sounds pretty reasonable. Like, it's like a lot of the stuff with boomers, it sounds reasonable. Like, at first glance, on its own, in isolation. But then you dive down into what sitting down at the dinner table actually means. Like, there's so many layers to it that you have to sit down at the dinner table at all just because dinner time. Like, why can't you eat dinner in your own room? Why can't you eat dinner outside? Why do you have to spend the whole dinner with your family? Oh, but that's just, it's family values, it's tradition. Well, what if the kids don't feel that way? So you're basically forcing the kids to eat dinner with their family against their will. And you don't think, and you wonder why they rebel when they're teenagers. You wonder why they start, like, you know, doing stupid shit. And obviously you're gonna do stupid shit no matter what. It's just part of growing up. But, like, it's like you create enemies. Like you're making yourself adversarial. You're forcing your kids, like, oh, you know, don't look at your phone while you're eating. It's like, okay, I understand why, but like, what if I just want to look at my fucking phone? Why is it any of your business? Who am I hurting? Like, how is anybody suffering because somebody is looking at their phone? It's about the principle of it. Like, why don't you just calm the fuck down? Let somebody use their fucking phone. Or, you know, what if somebody's autistic and they need their phone in order to stay calm? Or they have ADHD? What if somebody needs to listen to music while they eat? What if somebody doesn't want to eat with their family in a big table with everybody sitting there, awkward silences, forced conversation? Like, what if you're not feeling good? What if you're like, you're like in pain for some reason that's nobody's business? Like, there's so many things wrong with eating dinner at the dinner table. And that basically is what sums up boomers. Is having dinner at the dinner table. And it sounds so benign. Like, it sounds so, like, simple and fuck. I don't know, it just sounds so like, oh, it's just normal, you're just having dinner, you know, you have to have table manners and all that. It's pretty ableist. I know I sound a little cringe, but I mean, the reason it sounds cringe is because you're conditioned to think that it's cringe. Or, I mean, the people who would think it's cringe. Because the whole idea of like, oh, I'm triggered, or, you know, like, oh, some cringe, you know, social justice warrior thing, you know, Zoomer thing or whatever. I'm not even a Zoomer. I'm a millennial. Okay, I think I have the right to be cringe. I don't know if Zoomers earned it, but millennials, we've seen some shit. Okay, like Zoomers, you guys just have TikTok. Okay, that's what the Buddha said. Is don't use TikTok. Yeah, you have to surpass your inner cringe. Yeah, because it's like, it's not cringe. It's only cringe because you think it's cringe. It's not actually cringe. In fact, nothing is actually anything. Like, literally everything is completely objectively nothing. TikTok is the mark of the beast. Oh yeah, and like family vacations, that's another one. That's another boomer thing. We have to go as a family. And everybody's pissed off. The dad's pissed off. The mom's pissed off. First of all, heteronormative nuclear family stereotype. Why do you have to have kids at all? Why does it have to be a mom and a dad? Why can't it be two moms? Why can't it be one mom? Why can't it be one dad? Or two dads? Or three dads? Or two moms and a dad? Or two dads and a mom? Like, why not? Why does it have to be just a mom and a dad and then the kids? And it's like, oh yeah, we're going on our family vacation. We saved up all year for this. You're not gonna ruin it. We're going. I don't want to go. That's tough. You're gonna go or else. I'm gonna take away your video games. Now everybody's having a bad time. What's the point of a vacation if everybody's having a bad time? I don't get it. Why not just let, like, little Susie and Billy, like, why don't you just let them play video games and be happy? Like they just want to play video games. I understand there is kind of a limit. Like, obviously there's some things where kind of you do need to be pushed out of your comfort zone to try new things, and you will be happy. But I think that's a bit of I think it's pretty obvious when those things are there. Like, it's like, oh, you know, like you have a kid who said they want to do archery, but then they start doing archery and they get frustrated. They're like, I don't want to do it anymore. And then, like, you kind of push them a little bit out of their comfort zone. But I feel like when there's a point where it's like, I paid for those lessons, you're going to take those lessons. And like then it becomes about like do it because I said so rather than do it because you want to. I think there's a difference. Like I think there's a difference when it's like something that like, hey, like you can do it. You really wanted to do it. I've seen you, you know, you really wanted this, and I know that you'll be happy. You just you know, maybe try it one more time, and if you don't like it, then we can stop. You know, like that. I can understand that. Like just giving a little bit of a push to it, you know, to a kid. To make sure that they're not like just making an impulsive decision. But at a certain point, they just don't want to do it. It's not like, oh, but I loved baseball as a kid. Why don't you love baseball? Because they're not you. They're not copies of you. They're literal like individual sentient human beings who are separate from you, the only thing in common with you is their DNA. They're literally just people. Yeah, going on vacation is so miserable unless everybody is there mutually. Like, why do you have to go as a family? Why can't you just get, like, a babysitter and then just go on your own? Why does the whole family have to go? Or, like, you know, like the dinner table. Why does everybody have to eat at the dinner table? And here's another one. You're gonna clean your plate. Or no video games. Or no TV. Or whatever. That's like forcing a child? That's actually borderline abuse. You're forcing a child to eat more than they can. Like you're making them overeat. That's absolutely insane. It's been so normalized in our society. That like you have to finish your dinner plate. Like forcing a kid to finish their dinner when they don't want to. They just want to eat, like, part of it. And I understand if it's like, you know, eat your vegetables. That's for their health. I'm not talking about that. Like, at some point you just say, be like, you know, hey, like, if you know, you need to eat this, you know, to grow strong and stuff like that. I can get that. But, like, forcing them to eat the entire meal? All of it? 100% of it? Like maybe like a few bites of broccoli. I mean, that's better than zero, right? Maybe eat one broccoli. I can understand that. I don't know. This is why I'll never have kids. And I can't have kids. Thank you very much. Because my balls are gone. Yeah, I would never, ever in a million years want to have kids. It's so fucking ridiculous. Like, it's just, I have to be responsible for a whole ass human? Like, what the fuck? That's way too much pressure. It's hard enough being taking care of myself. Yeah, I mean, if you go to your doctor and talk about your needs, you might need orchiectomy. I had orchiectomy because I didn't want to have to deal with that while I was waiting for... because at the time, and it was a good thing I had orchiectomy when I did on February 24th. Because on February 7th, like less than a month before then, I got told that it was a 2-year wait list for vaginoplasty. So I'm glad that I was able to get it. Because it's not a full 2 years, but I have it on the calendar now. My vaginoplasty is next November. So, oh god. So I mean, it's still quite a while. Like that's like a year and 9 months, right? Almost a full 2-year wait. Like, let's be real. Or a little bit less than 9 months. Like a year, 8 months total, I guess. I don't know. But like, you know, so I got I already had orchiectomy on the books, you know, to happen. And I'm really glad I did, because it's so much better. Honestly, that's for you and your doctors to find out. Honestly, if you're doing anything, if you're trying to get on HRT, if you know you need to get on HRT, get to a doctor, girl. Jeez. Get to a doctor. Start working with the doctor. Do whatever you can. Tell your doctor everything that you need. Because if you need to get surgeries, it's going to take a really long fucking time. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you know you need it, get fucking started. Because it's going to take years. You have many chances to back out. Don't delay it just because you're unsure. Just get it started. You could always back out way before. You'll have so many fucking chances to back out. Holy shit. Don't ever fucking worry about being unsure about it. You're gonna be pretty sure by the time you hear from a doctor. You're gonna be pretty damn fucking sure by the time you get to a doctor. You're gonna have so many conversations about it with therapy. To get the letters, like you need 3 letters, and you know I would highly recommend getting the orchiectomy, especially if you're going to be taking anti-androgens, and because you don't need to take anti-androgens if you get the orchiectomy. Just make sure that they keep the scrotal tissue. That's always important. Make sure every doctor you work with knows that you're trans and knows that you're getting transgender related surgeries. Don't ever assume anything. Especially, I mean, here in California, like my clinic, they're very aware of stuff, but you never know. So, like, you know, you could get an orchiectomy. They might accidentally assume that you're getting rid of the scrotum. I mean, that would be an insane thing for a doctor to assume. Like, you would think that you would have this discussion, like, hey, I'm thinking about having vaginoplasty. I need to make sure that I keep the scrotum. Oh, she like ironically misgendered you. Well, no, I mean not misgendered you, but misgenitaled you. She misgenitaled you. Misgenitaled. She misgenitaled you. You goofball. Yeah, I mean, I've noticed a lot of trans people online. I try to be very respectful of like people's needs and all that kind of stuff. But I have to be real with you. There's so many trans people online that are just so like unwilling to start the process. And I understand that it's a very important, critical decision on whether or not you get surgery or not, because that's a very unique and personalized need. Not everybody needs surgery. But I mean, if you know you need it, get started, okay? Don't think that like nobody is ever going to be ready. Like it's like I feel like what a lot of trans people online, especially, like they don't have a support network. They don't have like doctors who actually like work with trans patients. Like my clinic, all my doctors specialize with trans patients. Like it's not everybody has that. Some people just have to go to some kind of doctor that just like is able, like a freaking endocrinologist who like doesn't really work with trans people. They just have to go to an endocrinologist and like hope that the endocrinologist knows what they're talking about. Like there's all that's what I hear from a lot of people online. And a lot of people's experience is like that, where they have to go basically just be the doctor themselves. Like basically they have to advocate for themselves because the doctor just skips a whole bunch of shit. Is what I hear from a lot of people. I don't have that experience because I thankfully have some amazing doctors. But I swear to God, so many trans people online, they just are, they keep waiting for society to tell them that it's okay to be trans. I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to. You can't wait for them. They're never going to be ready. Never, ever, 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 ever. And if they are, that's a fluke. It's not a, like, people are like, oh, I wanted to come out as trans, but I don't want to know how my family will feel about it. Fuck your family. I hate to say it. I know that it sounds terrible, but honestly, fuck your family. This is you. This is not your family. It's not their transition. It's not their life. They don't get to decide your life. And it's not even about, it's not like the same as like a job, like a career or anything like that. Because this is something that's like literally like your entire identity in regards to gender. And so like when somebody just, oh, this is totally losing. The mentality I get from a lot of trans people is that, oh, I'm thinking about coming out, but I don't know what they're gonna think about it. I don't know. I'm just gonna not come out. And it's like, you're making yourself miserable. And I understand, because that's what I did for like 13 years. Okay, like, I understand. But what I'm saying, like, that's basically what's going on. Is you're telling yourself that other people are going to be upset if you get to be who you are. And if you kind of like frame it that way, you start to realize how fucked up that way of thinking is and how absurd it is. That like you have to wait for someone else to give you the okay to be you. Like once you start realizing that, it's like, it's almost laughable. And I understand it's really painful. And also there's a lot of fucked up situations where there's like really violent people. And I'm like, to that, I obviously am lucky enough to not have experienced like a lot of like super hateful right wing. I do have right wing family, but like not the kind that are like, you're gonna get like beaten up with a baseball bat for being trans, like kind of stuff. Not that kind of stuff. Like I know that people in the South must be terrified of coming out. Well, then leave the South. And I know it's hard, and I know that it's like it's easy for me to say that here in California. But honestly, if I was in the South, I was in that situation, I would get the fuck out of that situation as soon as fucking possible. By any means possible. Legally. It's just like, what are you staying for? If everybody in your community is super like anti-trans, like super transphobic, going to give you like shit every single time they meet you or talk to you, why do you want to be in that community? If they're your family, well, they're just related to you by blood. It literally means nothing. If they're gonna treat you like shit, they're not your family. I'm sorry. It's tough. It's tough to finally admit it, but yeah, I mean, I guess in Ohio, like, honestly, it's shitty anywhere. Being trans is going to be scary and dangerous anywhere. It's really fucking crazy. Makes me cry like every single day that we live in a world that still is completely okay with complete open, blatantly open transphobia in broad daylight. Like in schools, at the workplace, like straight up blatant transphobia. It's absolutely insane. If you replaced the transphobia with like racism against black people, people would not be having it. But for some reason, people think it's different. They're like, oh, but shouldn't you use a different bathroom? We don't want trans people mixed up with the other kids. They're like, do people not understand how fucked up that sounds? That's like having like the colored bathrooms back in Jim Crow. I'm not trying to like say that like being trans is like being black, because that's the very, 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 very different situation. But when you have people that are literally calling to have completely separate classrooms for LGBTQ kids, or to have separate bathrooms just for trans people, and then people even like separate sports categories where you have like one person in the entire school who might be trans. Where are they supposed to fit in? You can't have a trans basketball team if there's only one trans person in the entire school. They're gonna have to play on one of the teams. And if they don't feel comfortable playing on one team, then you're gonna have to fucking suck it up and let them play on the fucking team. What's the big fucking deal? It's just a sports ball. It doesn't mean anything except for, like, it's a group activity. Why are people so fucking obsessed with, like, oh, our team needs to win the next game because we represent our high school. It's the best high school. Like, come on. And then people are like fear-mongering. Oh, if they just let trans kids on the you know, trans women, trans girls on the girls team, then what's to stop boys from pretending they're girls? It's like, okay, nobody's stopping you. If you're a boy and you want to pretend to be a girl, if you're not actually trans, first of all, this is not happening, but if it was, go right the fuck ahead, because I'm telling you right now, you're not going to be inviting any positivity into your life if that's the case. And anybody who thinks otherwise is really fucking stupid. Being trans at all, like, if you're actually trans, being trans is not a fucking easy thing to do. It's basically like a social death sentence, but it's not. It shouldn't be. It doesn't have to be. But, like, if we're gonna be real, like, basically coming out as trans is one of the worst positive things that you can do, because it's very positive. But even though it's positive, it's like the worst thing you could do for your social status. Anybody who thinks that people are coming out as trans just to be popular are so fucking delusional. They have absolutely no understanding of reality at all. Like, people coming out as trans are putting their lives in danger. But I'm not trying to scare you or anything. I'm just trying to say you gotta be you, okay? You gotta be you, honey boo. You gotta be you. And honestly, I'm just some random streamer, so, you know, you don't have to listen to me. But you can't wait for, like, family members to be okay with it. You can't wait for your community to be okay with it. You can't wait for, you know, some law to pass that'll make things easier, because the laws are taking way too fucking long. If you waited for everyone else, it's never gonna happen. That's what I had to figure out the hard way. It took me 13 years to finally make that stand. And the fact that you're here and telling me you're trans and that you're like, you know, on like anti-androgens and like stuff like that, go and get it. Go and get what you need to get. Talk to the doctor you need to talk to. Do the thing. Nobody is ever going to, like, be ready for it. And they shouldn't have to be. This is not their business. It's not their life. It's not their body. It's not their gender dysphoria. So then, like, how do they have any clue what you need? Or what, you know, like, oh, you have to boy mode for Nana because she's just from a different generation. No, fuck Nana. Seriously, fuck Nana. If she's gonna be fucking racist, transphobic piece of shit, don't fucking just, like, enable that shit. I'm so fucking tired of people saying, oh, you have to, you know, roll your eyes, smile and nod because Nana, she grew up in a different time and she's really racist and transphobic. Like, if she's racist and transphobic, then fucking cancel the bitch. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if she's like my Nana or whatever. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's not okay. Being like fucking racist piece of shit or being a transphobic piece of shit. Why would I enable that? You know, this imaginary Nana we're talking about. Jeez, poor Nana. It's just the absurdity of it. Whoops. Yeah. The really sad part is like anybody who would randomly be listening to what I'm saying right now is probably saying, oh, it's just another angry trans person. Yeah, why are they always so angry? Just all these people, you know, they're always angry. I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why these people are always like fighting for social justice or whatever the fuck. Why are they so, why don't they just grow up? Why are they always, why don't they just grow a thicker skin? Why are they so angry all the time? I have no idea why. Probably because you're not living through like open and blatant transphobia on like in a country, like in most countries in the world, in practically every country in the world, just openly accepted transphobia on a daily basis happening everywhere. Where people are just like debating your existence. Debating whether or not you should have basic healthcare that's already proven to be the best healthcare possible that we know of. Oh, but shouldn't we be doing more studies on long-term research for... It's like, yeah, those studies have already been happening. They started studying this shit in the 30s, or even probably before then. I mean, if it happened in the 30s, it probably happened before then. Trans people have been around forever. And the Nazis burned all the fucking stormed in and fucking terrorized the gender clinics that were doing important gender research. The research that people today are like begging for, the research that already exists. They just don't understand that these things are already studied on a daily basis. It's not some feel good, like, oh, we care about your feelings kind of thing. No, it's like this is based on like long-term studies and research. Why do people assume that this is just based on like, oh, we're just enabling them. We just want them to feel good. Like, well, yeah, I mean, that's the idea, right? You should not feel like your life is like miserable all the time. That's not normal. So if that's the case, if your life is miserable all the time, and there's like a very clear idea, like, hey, I'm miserable all the time because I am like a female, but I was assigned male at birth. That is very problematic for me. Like, that is very problematic because the only real way, because there's nothing I can do about that to change it. And the only things that I can do to make me feel better are what you know, modern medicine allows. Which is very limited, but it's better than nothing. So it's like, no shit I'm gonna feel like garbage. No shit I'm gonna feel like life is like miserable all the time, because this is something that unless I get medical intervention, there is no escape at all, ever, from this gender dysphoria. There is literally no escape. It is that devastating. It is all the time, forever. Does not go away. Ever. And there's only one way to fix it. And the one way is the eternal way, you know, the worst case scenario that nobody wants, of not having a life anymore. The other one is to get medicine that will do a lot to make you feel better. I mean, it's not a guarantee it's gonna make you feel happy, but it's a shot, you know? It's at least a chance at surviving. Instead of just like telling people to just like get over it. Because it's not gonna happen. Trans people aren't gonna just stop being trans. It's not gonna happen. Ever. And the fact that people think that it can shows that they don't understand anything at all about the trans experience. Oh, I'm tired of hearing about trans stuff. Well, then maybe we should like stop being transphobic. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the reason why people are always talking about trans stuff. Maybe that's the reason why people are always so angry all the time. It's because we're so fucking gaslit all the fucking time. They're like, oh yeah, you know, you're just always talking about trans stuff. Why don't you just shut up and live your life? It's hard to live your life when there's like entire countries basically putting people to death for being trans, or basically, or like in effect putting them to death by denying them healthcare, or talking about whether or not we should deny trans people their healthcare. Like literally people like suggesting that we should deny trans people our healthcare. There's people out there in this country, in the United States, supposedly the most free country in the world, people openly debating whether or not we should have basic healthcare. Really fucking basic healthcare. So yeah, I'm gonna be fucking angry when there's been no changes whatsoever. And people all over the place act like there's been changes. They're like, oh, but didn't you see like this happened? It's like, yeah, that's a huge win, and we take those. But there's no, it's like, you know, what are we just supposed to be happy with like the few table scraps? I don't know. It's so easy to get angry. But I can't just be angry all the time. Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult. I try my hardest to just like kind of live in the moment and not think about all the stuff that's like terrible in the world. But you know, it's just like I see so many people out there just able to kind of just float around and just like kind of just be okay with stuff. Not like okay with it, but like there's a lot of people out there who are able to just kind of like put blinders on. It's really hard to put blinders on for me because of autism, but also because of being a trans person in a world that just doesn't accept us. And where I'm constantly worried that I'm going to lose everything that is giving me a chance at life. And in California, I'm pretty safe. But until I get those surgeries, I'm not going to feel safe. I'm going to feel like at any moment, it's going to all be taken away from me. Everything's going to crash down. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like at any given moment, some bullshit Republican is gonna fuck everything up for me and everyone else. Some bullshit motherfucking Republican is gonna take away the one thing that is giving me a chance at living a good life. And that scares me to death. That some asshole can just get elected to office and undermine every single amount of effort that I've put into my life over the past 3 years. And that scares me more than anything. Oh, that's checkmate. God damn it. Basically hoping that California is safe, and basically hoping that some asshole doesn't get elected as president and fucks everything up, or that we don't get a fucking Senate that's overrun by asshole Republicans who want to just take away every single gain that trans people have ever made. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go after this game. I think I'm getting a little tired, and I'm also getting a little worked up. Usually when I'm streaming, I end up talking a lot more, and I kind of just want to chill and do my own thing off stream after this. I really enjoyed the stream. I really enjoyed the talk. I enjoyed all the games. Oh, that's not so good. Yeah, you're just constantly outplaying me, PR Kid. It's like you're just like straight up stronger than me. So it's really hard to hold my own. That's just how it goes. That's just how chess works. The only reason you're winning is because you're better than me. I actually legit, when I taught chess to kids for a while at like a nonprofit. I don't want to get into like, there were some issues with that as soon as I came out as trans. And also, you know, because of the issues, I don't know. This is before official diagnosis of autism, but I was having some issues, some interpersonal issues with other instructors. I was fine when I was on my own, but there was this one instructor that was just like, really loved his own way of doing things, and he belittled me. And also, I think he was transphobic. He said, oh, you know, why is she showing up wearing a wig? I'm like, because I didn't want to have, I just shaved before I came out as trans and like started living full time. I had shaved my head before then. And, you know, because I was just, I wasn't ready, and I just happened to be ready. I knew I was trans a long time ago when I was like 18, but I closeted back in for a while. Anyway, when I was doing that, there was literally a kid at like a tournament that was like upset that he lost a game, and he said, I shit you not, he said to the other kid, he's only winning because he's better than me. Like, this kid straight up was like, well, yeah, I mean, that's not really like unfair. I mean, it is unfair, but it's not, I mean, that's just how it works. Like, if you're better than someone, you're gonna win. He's only winning because he's better than me. It was kind of classic. Obviously, you know, at the time you don't like downplay the kid's experience. Like, you know, they're genuinely upset. Like, you don't want to like belittle them, because it's so easy for an adult to hear that and like laugh at it. But to a kid, that's dead serious. Like, to a kid, they're like traumatized. And so it's like, it's important to like kind of like lead them through the steps that they need to go through. And I think like when teaching children, it's so much different than teaching adults. Adults have a different problem. Like, with adults, they think they know too much. With kids, they're still learning basic like emotional skills. Like, they're still learning like a bunch of basic things they need to go through. With adults, there's a lot of things they've learned, but then they can't get past the next ones, which sometimes the kids can get past those big ones. They can't get past the next ones because they're like, oh, well, I already know all this. And so they kind of just go off to the side a lot, and they never really pass. They just kind of stay at like the same. I think that's the problem adult learners have. Anyway, I love the games. I'm glad I came back. I'm really sorry for the vibes, bad vibes earlier. It happens sometimes. I get really worked up about things. especially when I don't know. You have to put yourself in my shoes a little bit. Like, I am a trans woman, and I'm autistic, and I've gone through a whole life of experiences that influence my understanding of things that are very different than a large amount of people. Yeah, no stress, Chess. Anyway, I might be on tomorrow. I try to be on every day if I can. I usually am. Although, honestly, I don't know. I have a lot of stuff to keep me busy. Although, honestly, you went through a lot? I went through a lot. Yeah. I need to fix my eyebrow. Like, there's like this problem here. I'm like, jeez. Yeah, I mean, you've went through a lot too. Everybody's went through a lot. Everybody has a different experience. That's kind of what makes us human. It's kind of what makes life exciting. You know, there's so many different people out there with so many different experiences. Like there's people who think about things differently because of their experiences. And I think as long as we understand that sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong, but sometimes things are just like kind of this jumbled mess where it's like you're right, but you're also not right. Like, you know, like it makes sense. Like there's some things that are just like that where it's like, yeah, like you're right in that case, but in this other case, like, you know, put it in perspective, like maybe you're not right in that case, but you might be right in this case. You know, there's a lot of stuff like that in life, I think. And it's so easy to say, oh, you know, this is what I went through, and so that means that everyone else went through it. But that's not true. There's things that you went through that I've never gone through. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I've been through that you've never been through. Stuff that you will never go through. Stuff that I will never go through. And so it's like we kind of have to understand that, like, we don't have to experience something firsthand to kind of like take ourselves back and kind of like put ourselves in their shoes and like listen to their life and understand their perspective and then come to a solution either way. Like, I know how to, I kind of put people in boxes sometimes, but it helps. Like, I put people in a box so that I can respect them, but it doesn't mean I accept them. But there's certain people out there that are really bad, but I put them in a box and it makes it easier to deal with. Like people who are racist or transphobic, I put them in a box. Like they're in a box, and it's called like a racism box or a transphobic box. And as long as they're in that box, I can see them for what they are. And I know how to navigate around them. Because if somebody's going to be transphobic, I'm not going to date that person for obvious reasons. I mean, it should be obvious. I mean, if somebody's transphobic and I'm going to date them, it's not going to work out. I'm trans. like, I mean, it's over. It's zero. Game over. But, you know, they're missing out. I'm definitely not missing out on them. Okay, bye-bye. Hope you have a good night. Some went through more than others. I mean, that is true. But there's always somebody who went through more, right? If you like, for anybody who's been through like a million things, there's somebody who's been through a million and one things. You know, right? But yeah, I mean, hey, like, I encourage you this week, try something to get out of your comfort zone to make new friends. Go to a card shop and like play Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh or something. Maybe find people who play chess at a card shop. Like a board game like a D&D, like comic book shop. Go to like a comic book shop. Go play Magic the Gathering or something. Or even you might find people who play chess. But, you know, it doesn't have to be chess. In fact, like, I would just like try something new. Like, go play some cards. Don't spend all your money on it though. Try to find something you can afford. And I think Magic the Gathering is way too expensive. It's going to cost like hundreds or thousands of dollars. But maybe you can find something that's like, you know, like, I don't know. It doesn't have to be Magic the Gathering. It doesn't have to be D&D. It doesn't have to be comic books. But I would recommend, I mean, that's a starting place. That's, you know, you might meet a new friend. Even if you're not into what they're doing, like, even if you're not into comic books, even if you're not into Magic the Gathering. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, like, that's literally free. You basically just need your imagination. It's not really free. I mean, you gotta have, like, the books and stuff like that. But you don't necessarily need those. Somebody might let you borrow one. So, I don't know. I encourage you to try something. I'm gonna try something new this week too, I think. Actually, no, like, my friend told me about an improv group. I'm gonna try to do that. I don't know when it is. Yeah, if you like comic books, go to a comic book shop. You're gonna meet some new friends. Yeah, I also, another thing, I want to find a bike riding group. That's what I'm trying to do. That's my step. See, I'm right there with you. I'll be your accountability buddy. Okay, we're both trying to make new friends. I'm gonna try to join a bike riding group. I'm gonna try to find them on Facebook. Like, there's groups all over the place. I'm gonna try to go out to a random, like, hey, like, everyone welcome, just show up. There's no, like, you know, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to look that up this week. That's my homework. And your homework is to go to a comic book shop and just talk to someone about anything. Even if you just say, oh, hey, like, did you know what issue this is? Like, if it's just some stupid question about a comic book, like say, like, oh, hey, do you know which one came first? Is this, like, which one should I read first? Like, just ask somebody, which one should I read first? That's probably like a 3-hour conversation right there. Just go to a comic book shop, ask a random comic book reader, which one should I read first? Literally, whole friendships can start that way. That's like a 3-hour conversation right there. If you go to a comic book shop, which one should I read first? I heard Batman is good. I'm gonna stop you right there. You want to start with Aquaman. Because people will say start on Batman, but the real lore starts with Aquaman. And if you read these chapters first, everything in Batman will start to make sense. Okay.